Yo, what up guys? Travic here. And today I want to talk about Spark. Not any old Spark. Today I want to talk about Spark Monk. Yes, that's right. Spark Monk. Or Temporalis Exploding Teleporting Spark Monk. Very recently, a community member by the name of Chilitea reached out to me and said, hey Trav, I've got a really cool take on Monk. I'd love to show it to you. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I'm playing Spark Monk. And if you've watched my content before or you've seen my live streams, you'll know that I'm a very big fan of Monk. And I personally believe that anything crit-based Monk, especially elemental damage, is probably insane. I've been very vocal about Monk and Spark probably being very, very, very good in the past. And now I have the opportunity to show that I wasn't just crazy, that it is indeed a thing. So I get together with Chili. He shows me what he's playing. He gives me the breakdown of what's going on. He shows and blows up a boss, and I'm completely stunned and hooked. I was like, I need to play this. I absolutely have to try this. How do we make this happen? And he goes, it would be really cool if we can make a video. We should showcase this to people. People who have this body armor might absolutely love it, and they'd want to give it a shot. And I was like, let's do it. So we got together. We put all the gear together. We put the character together. We built it all up. He showed me how to play it. And we were able to just blow up the content. You saw right there, we blew up Zesh 4, no problem. And I actually have another really cool clip of me going into Sanctum, or the Trials of Sekhemas, and able to blow it up as well. Again, if we go back one sec, you'll see I deal 40% less damage, all the typical terrible mods that I would have that kind of suck. And then I don't even have any damage mods here. And we go into the fight playing Chili's take on the build, and it's completely crazy. Now, Chili said this build was inspired by the Jung Temporalis build, and that's where he got the idea from, and he put it all together, and he wants people to make sure to know that this is where the idea came from, and this is just his take on it. So I took his POV, I put it all together, and I started to play it, and it is completely and utterly insane. What makes this build work so well is it relies on a couple of things. One, it relies on us converting our normal roll into a blink. So we're able to just blink around infinitely. The reason we're able to blink around infinitely is because of the Temporalis body armor. This body armor allows us to reduce the cooldown of our skills by 3.78 seconds, or if I hold Alt, anywhere between 2 seconds and 4 seconds. Blink has a cooldown of 3.6 seconds, and you can reduce the cooldown of Blink to literal 0 and allow you to blink infinitely. From there, because we're allowed to blink infinitely, we pair this with cast on dodge. When we do this, we have the ability to blink and cast a bunch of sparks. So he has it set up so that you cast spark, and then spark has acceleration, chain, inspiration. And the way he described it to me is because he has 2 sparks in this setup, it casts a spark at the beginning of the chain and the end of the chain. So as soon as you blink, it sparks, and as soon as you end, it sparks. From there, we pair everything together with the unique amulet Choir of the Storms, and this allows us to ignore enemy resistances and trigger lightning bolt on critical strike. That was that big bolt of lightning you saw coming down and hitting the boss. When you combine Temporalis plus cast on dodge plus spark and crit plus this, you get this completely chain reaction of events that just blows up everything on the screen and makes pretty much all content trivial. It becomes a hold down the blink button and just zoom across the map as fast as you can. Welcome to Path of Exile 1, and nothing's completely changed. Now, I have been told from Chili that the lightning bolt is affected by the Temporalis, and the minus cooldown from this works on the lightning bolt, and it becomes this like really cool damage loop that you could just like completely chain it forever. So I'm pretty positive if anything gets nerfed, it's Choir of the Storms, and this amulet gets completely changed. That's my guess. Now, before we go into the rest of the build, what the gear looks like, everything like that, big disclaimer. One, I want to say thank you to Chilitea for bringing the build to the community and showcasing it and allowing me to make this video and present it to you guys. An absolutely wonderful human being. Thank you so much for taking the time to walk me through it and teach me how to play it. This video today wouldn't happen without you. So I appreciate you. 2, as Chili has mentioned, this build is inspired by Jung. So this is not like, you know, Jung did it first and then he took his take on it and this is his take on it. There are probably 100 different ways to build this, but this is his take on it. 3, if you like what you see today and you are planning on trying it and you are going to build it, it will not work without Temporalis. You can play Spark. Spark does work. You probably need to change some things up, but you can just play Spark. Spark deals a ton of damage. It blows up everything on the screen. Spark is insanely strong, but you need Temporalis. Temporalis is a body armor that is very swingy in price. I have seen it as low as 1 div before all the botters got banned. And then I've seen it as cheap as 9 divs, 20 divs, 30 divs, and I've seen it as expensive as 150, 200 divs. I don't know how expensive this body armor is when you, the viewer, decide to go check it out. It could be 30 divs, it could be 100 divs. I do not know. Unfortunately, I cannot control the market. So depending on when you watch it, the body armor may be insanely expensive. It may be insanely cheap. This is, in theory, going to be the rarest item in the game and one of the hardest items in the game to get. And currently in early access, due to like some bugs and stuff like that, it has become a little bit more readily available for the average player to play with. Granted, while it's still air quotes budget being in the early divines, it's still like expensive to most players. So I have to put that disclaimer out there so that you guys know what's going on. Also, on top of that, this gear is all Chili's. Chili loaned me the gear to make the video. I'm going to be making the video. I'm going to be showcasing to you guys, and then I'm going to be giving it all back. So this video demonstration is only because he allowed us to borrow the gear, so I didn't have to go hunt down a Temporalis, and I'll be giving everything back. So yeah, I'm just letting you know all the cards on the table before somebody says anything crazy, because I know there's some crazy dude XDD chat right now with comments going, oh, it must be nice to be a streamer and take advantage of the community. I don't want to hear it. I'm up front. I'm telling you right now. Okay. So let's get into it. We've talked about how Temporalis works. We talked about the combination of skills that work together. So let's start from the ground up and work our way up. The skills are pretty straightforward. Lightning Bolt comes from the amulet. Lightning Bolt is paired with Magnified Effect for nice area of effect. We have Considered Casting for more spell damage. We have Spell Echo, so it casts twice, and we have Lightning Mastery for level of damage. We see beautiful damage on the lightning damage. Absolutely fantastic skill, beautiful crit chance, and we have some energy gain. We have Mana Drain from our wand, literally irrelevant, doesn't do anything. We have Meditate because we're a monk. We use Meditate and the Meditate text so that we can get our energy shield nice and high to the 9,000s. Very simple, very quick with an offhand swap. We'll talk about that in a second. And we have Cast on Dodge. Like I mentioned earlier, the Cast on Dodge allows us to do this. Cast on Dodge is paired with Spark. Once again, this is so that we can fire a bunch of projectiles at the start. Acceleration for more projectile speed, Chain to bounce all around, Inspiration to reduce our mana cost, and another Spark so that we can again fire a bunch of projectiles all around. We have Blink with Unbreakable and Arcane Tempo for cast speed and stun. And we have another manual Spark. There are indeed times when you're tight hallways, or there are areas that you'd rather just cast because blinking just like, even if I put my cursor right here, it just blinks so far. Sometimes it's just a lot easier to manually cast and just kill everything like that. This Spark is very simple: Arcane Surge, Mobility, and Electrocute, just so that we can cast things, kill things. This Spark, even with 11,000 tooltip DPS, just completely blows up everything on the screen. We'll see that when we hop into a map. There's no other skills. There's no other setup. That is it. We are using a wand for level of Spark skills. I have been told while I was streaming that this might be better with a Widow Hail and Quiver setup. I don't know anything about that. I talked to Chili. We're going to discuss it later. He might revisit and remake the build and swap things up with a bow and quiver later. If we do, we'll make a new follow-up video about it. But there is a world where playing with a bow and quiver is something that you can do. But he was playing it with a wand that looks like this, where you gain extra lightning damage, spell damage, more lightning damage, plus level of skills and critical strike chance for spells. Absolutely stunning wand. He pairs it with a very basic helmet. The helmet just has an absolute metric ton of energy shield. This helmet gives thousands of energy shield, as you see my health going down. It gives us resistances, a little bit of int and rarity. The body armor Temporalis, the only role that really matters is that we care about the skill cooldown effect. We would like more energy shields so that we can fit in more auras, but we only really care about the skill cooldown effect. We're using Choir of the Storms so that we can get the beautiful Lightning Bolt skill, and so that we can ignore enemy resistances. We're putting Vulgar Methods on it so that we can get 35% increased critical hit chance, 10 the strength, and we reduce our maximum mana, literally irrelevant, but we just want more critical hit chance. Our focus gives us a beautiful 186 energy shield, a ton of lightning damage, a ton of crit bonus, some resistances to cap out our resistances to give us that beautiful 76 to all res. This is the craziest ring. I didn't even know this ring was in the game until he showed it to me. This ring gives us critical hit chance for spells. It gives us critical spell bonus damage. It gives us chaos resistance, which we don't need because we're a monk. And it gives us increased cost of skills, which is literally irrelevant. We don't care. It's fine. He has another very basic ring that just fills the holes. This ring gives you a bunch of resistance, a bunch of mana, a bunch of lightning damage, and rarity, and has corrupted decks on it. Absolutely very beautiful ring, very simple, very down to earth. His gloves, very same thing. A ton of energy shield, an absolute ton of energy shield, critical strike bonus, and rarity. A lot of this gear, not too expensive outside of the uniques. The uniques, like I said, they are going to be expensive. Ingenuity, very expensive. This is just a belt that probably everybody at some point is going to have to grab. It's going to be the belt. I know every single league, if this doesn't get changed, it is going to be the item that I grab first. Every single league, forever, going forward, period, ever, period. Outside of that, we have these boots. These boots are just movement speed, energy shield, rarity, and resistances. Very straightforward boots. And then I'm using a charm, so in case I get frozen. Overall, the gear is very simple. The thing that ties everything together is the Temporalis. And the thing I think that's most broken and it'll get nerfed is the Choir of the Storms. That is what I think. Like I mentioned, we are indeed on Invoker Monk. We are playing Monk. Monk is very powerful. Monk is very strong. We take Lead Me Through Grace to gain energy shield and evasion for our body armor. We take Meditate because Meditate's completely busted. We take I Am the Thunder for extra lightning damage and shock ground. And then we're gaining I Am the Blizzard for just extra cold damage. Just 10% of damage is extra cold damage because it's extra damage. I did talk to Chili. He did say that we can take more meta skills, gain more energy. You can go this route and remove this. So you can actually go like this and go like this. And then your sparks will actually cast more often, but it'll eat your mana faster. So that's another option that you can take. And the rest of our tree is very straightforward. We come up this way to the Flow Like Water for cast speed. We're getting extra lightning damage. We're getting some crit chance bonus here. We're getting more crit chance here. We're getting reduced cost of skills up here and just more crit. Now you're going to see there is a weapon swap. We're going to talk about that in a second. We take the jewel socket here. The jewel sockets are all the same. They're just crit bonus, crit chance, LA damage. All of the jewels are going to be exactly the same. Crit bonus, crit damage, LA damage. We come over here for meta skills, gain energy, and they deal more damage. We take the lightning damage nodes here. And then once again, crit chance, max energy shield, very basic, very simple. Crit bonus here, crit chance here, chaos inoculation so that we're immune to bleed, poison, and chaos. More, triggered spells deal damage. And then very simple projectile speed for skills, int stacking energy shield, critical strike chance for spells, tons of flat lightning tons of percent lightning damage here. Over here, we just get more spell damage, recover mana on kill. This jewel, I will stop for a second and point out, this jewel is very important. This jewel, we need to have the recover mana on kill. It is how you sustain your mana. This is very important. You want a jewel like this so that you may maintain your mana. If you do not have a recover mana on kill jewel, you will have mana problems. Moving right along, we come here for more energy shield and maximum all res. This is what gives us that 76 all res. Increased mana cost of skills, but a ton of cast speed, which is really, really nice. Critical strike chance and elemental damage. More resistances, elemental damage. And then down here, just more energy shield from equipped helmet. Beautiful. More energy shield and a little bit of light radius. Now you're going to notice there is indeed a weapon swap. This weapon swap is for the Meditate tech. If you haven't seen my video on the Meditate tech, I will include it down below in the description for you. But if you watch my energy shield here and you see me meditate, I immediately get all of my energy shield back very, very, very quick. And it comes back right away. I'll show you again. And just like that, all of my energy shield is back. If I don't use the Meditate tech and I don't do a weapon swap and I do my normal stuff, my energy shield regenerates extremely slow and it takes forever to meditate all the way back up. So we have a weapon swap with plus level of skills and increased energy shield recharge rate and a bunch of nodes that give us extra energy shield recharge rate. Like I said, the video down below will explain it a lot better and it goes into a lot more detail. But overall, the tree and everything, pretty straightforward. Now, in terms of the build and how it plays, I have a map, a very basic map. It's got some quantity, it's got some rarity. It's a nice tier 15 map. We'll toss it in. I got a nice breach map right here. Very basic, very simple. Actually, I think I can irradiate really quick and see if I can get us a harder map. Let's see. Irradiated. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. We'll just take this one. Take this, toss this in here. Hit this. Dang it. Oh, wait. We got one right here. Perfect. There you go. Nice level 80 map. First thing we're going to do when we come to the map, we're going to meditate. We realize that we're on the wrong weapon set immediately. It's fine. And then we're off to the races. Oh my God! Let's go, baby! Divine! Hell yeah, dude. And there you go. This is it. The whole build in a nutshell. Just blink all around. Kill a bunch of mobs. Call it a good day. Everything explodes. Everything dies. Tons of lightning bolts. Not even a care in the world. Just blinking all around. Clearing the map. Easy peasy. Yes, I know somebody's gonna be like, oh my God, this is boring. I like it. I don't want to hear it. Oh my God, you remove all the difficulty in the game. Yep, you're right. Don't want to hear it. It's fun, man. It's super fun. Okay, come on over this way. Look for the breach, because there was a breach on this map. Hope we don't crash our computer. And there you go. Pretty simple and straightforward. Not even a whole lot to worry about. Very easy build to play. Very convenient. And just overall, just a lot of fun. Just insane amounts of fun. I will say the one thing that I do really miss is it doesn't have the beautiful explosions like the Herald build does, but damn, does this build feel good to play. I will say, if Temporalis does not get changed and it stays the way that it is, this will definitely be an item every single league that like I aspire to achieve. Every single league, like if this item stays the way that it is, I will 100% every single league, like this will be like my chase item. And I think that's the best part about Path of Exile, is finding that item for you that you want to chase. And like that for me is where all the fun is. And knowing that an item like this exists and knowing I can do things like this, like I want it. I do. I have to. I want to. So I'm really excited for it. This is so cool. Dude, it's so cool. There's just something about playing Path of Exile that's just like insanely fun, you know? Like you get to do such cool stuff like this. So, but I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope this gives you something cool to look forward to. I know somebody's gonna say it's gonna get nerfed. It's probably gonna get changed. It's probably gonna get nerfed. Something's gonna get changed. You're right, I know. But we live in the moment, and honestly, like right now, this is awesome. So, yeah, man. Hey, that's everything. Sweet. But once again, thank you to Chilitea for allowing me to make this video. Thank you for loaning me the gear for this video. That was super awesome of you. I truly appreciate it. The build is absolutely fantastic. And friends, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like, a comment, do all that fun YouTube jazz. And if you have other cool builds that you want to see or really neat ideas that you'd love to share, I'd love to hear about them in the comments down below. Come post them in the Discord. I really welcome all of you guys. But for now, friends, I'm going to get this video out to you guys. And I'll see you all in the next one.